Solve it and $500 million is yours, Japanese CEO laughed, but a black maid shocked everyone. A single envelope lay on the CEO's desk high above Tokyo, sealed with gold wax and stamped with the company's insignia. Inside, a single card read, "Solve the riddle hidden in our vault within 72 hours, and $500 million will be yours." When the message was read aloud, Mr. Sato, the powerful and composed head of Sato Technologies, laughed sharply. The room joined him, their laughter echoing against the glass walls. To them, it was a publicity stunt, a challenge only the brightest minds in Japan or the world could attempt. None imagined that a quiet black maid standing in the corner, holding a tray of tea, would be the one to change everything. Before we dive deeper, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to Kindness Stories, where real hearts and real courage rewrite the impossible. Aisha had come from Nigeria 5 years earlier, working in Japan as a housemaid. Life had been hard but simple. She rose before dawn, cleaned the marble floors of Tokyo's elite homes, and often went to bed after midnight. Yet in her small rented room, she read books, mathematics, logic puzzles, cryptography, things no one believed a maid would ever touch. She had grown up fascinated by problems that demanded patience, not privilege. Her father had taught her one lesson before he died: "Aisha, your mind is your true inheritance. Never let anyone tell you where it belongs." She carried that lesson everywhere, like a hidden flame. When the Sato Technologies contest was announced, the world took notice. $500 million was an impossible prize, one that turned heads and drew the smartest people in Japan to guess what the riddle might be. The boardroom that morning was packed with journalists, investors, and engineers. The challenge was broadcast on screens. It was meant to test innovation, to prove no one could break the code embedded in the company's prototype vault system. Mr. Sato declared confidently, "We have built the unbreakable vault. Anyone who can solve it will earn $500 million of our equity." Cameras flashed. Everyone applauded. Then a voice, soft but clear, broke through the noise. "May I try?" All eyes turned toward the back of the hall. There stood Aisha, in her plain maid uniform, clutching her tray. Her tone carried no hesitation, no arrogance, only calm certainty. The laughter began almost instantly. Executives exchanged glances. Some looked embarrassed for her, others amused. But Aisha didn't flinch. She stepped forward, placed her tray aside, and said again, "If the challenge is open to anyone, I would like to attempt it." Mr. Sato regarded her with curiosity. There was something about her eyes, sharp, confident. Still, he smirked and gestured toward the metal tablet containing the encrypted puzzle. "Very well," he said. "The rules are the same for everyone. 72 hours. You may try. But I assure you, it cannot be done." The press recorded the moment, whispering among themselves about the bold maid who dared challenge Japan's smartest engineers. When she left the boardroom, she went not to a research lab or office but to the cleaning storage room under the staircase. The light flickered weakly above her as she spread her notebook, pen, and the company tablet across a small table. She began translating the characters on the screen, Japanese kanji interwoven with binary code, mathematical sequences, and snippets of haiku poetry. She recognized patterns immediately. The haiku referred to seasonal changes, which hinted at a numerical key. The binary lines corresponded to syllable counts. As hours passed, she scribbled equations, erased, recalculated, and cross-referenced her findings with rhythm and meter. Security footage later showed her working late into the night. Other maids passed by, whispering, "She's still doing it." Some mocked her softly, others shook their heads in pity. She didn't respond. Her mind was deep inside the puzzle, chasing logic where others saw chaos. By dawn, her hands trembled from exhaustion, but her focus was unwavering. On the second day, executives started joking that she must have given up. "She probably went home," one said. Mr. Sato chuckled. Let her have her fun. Yet when the janitor checked the utility room, he found her still there, eyes red but alive with determination. She was mapping the final sequence, realizing the riddle was not just about mathematics, it was about understanding imperfection. The last line of the haiku read, "When frost meets flame, harmony wakes." That was the key. The vault required not a perfect input but a balanced one, numbers that reflected both symmetry and chaos. It was something no AI algorithm could predict, but a human heart could sense. At 10:47 a.m. on the third morning, a deep metallic click echoed through the floor. The vault had opened. The company's internal sensors confirmed it, security locks disengaged, authorization complete. Everyone rushed to the monitoring room. There, on the screen, the vault door was wide open. And standing beside it, still in her maid uniform, was Aisha. She held the tablet close and walked calmly to the boardroom, where stunned silence awaited her. Mr. Sato stood frozen as she approached. "You solved it," he said quietly. Aisha nodded. "Yes, sir. I entered the code 30 minutes ago. It matched." An assistant confirmed it, the algorithm accepted her answer as valid, and per the written agreement, the ownership transfer was already in process. The news spread instantly. $500 million. A maid had done what the brightest minds had failed to do. Some shouted disbelief. Others demanded an explanation. But Aisha stayed composed. She looked directly at the cameras and said, "I solved it because I saw beauty in the flaw. Machines search for perfection, but humans live in balance." The answer was not logic alone, it was empathy written in numbers. Her words silenced even the critics. Mr. Sato, overwhelmed by shock and admiration, sank slowly into his chair. He looked up at her and said softly, "I underestimated you." The story went viral across the world. Headlines called her the maid who outsmarted a CEO. Television networks replayed her calm face over and over. Skeptics doubted her, but when international experts verified her solution, disbelief turned to awe. She became an overnight symbol of brilliance rising from humility. Universities offered her honorary degrees. Tech companies sought her partnership. Yet she didn't leave Japan or chase luxury. Instead, she met again with Mr. Sato, not as an employee but as an equal. He asked her what she would do with the money. She smiled gently. "I will use it to build bridges where doors were closed," she said. "For every child who loves learning but cannot afford it, for every woman cleaning offices who dreams of more, I will open a path." True to her word, she founded an organization named Puzzle for Change. It funded education, technology training, and scholarships across Africa and Asia. She employed hundreds of domestic workers, giving them access to study programs and financial literacy. She built computer labs in rural towns and libraries where children could explore their minds freely. Her journey inspired millions. Interviews showed her still humble, still kind. When asked if she felt angry at the people who had laughed at her, she only said, "No. Their disbelief made my belief stronger." In time, even Mr. Sato joined her mission. He donated a portion of his personal wealth to her foundation and offered his company's resources to develop tools for education and inclusivity. At public events, they often appeared together, a symbol of how respect and understanding can grow from humility and courage. Aisha never forgot where she started. Every month, she returned to the same cleaning room under the stairs, the place where she had solved the riddle. She kept her old uniform folded neatly in a box. To her, it was a reminder that greatness begins not with titles but with quiet determination. Whenever young people asked her secret, she said, "Never stop learning, even when no one is watching. Your worth is not measured by who sees you, it's measured by how much you believe in your own light." Years later, the vault remained open, not physically, but symbolically. It had become a global story of empowerment, a metaphor for barriers broken by intellect and heart. Aisha's name appeared in history books, not for wealth, but for proving that knowledge has no uniform, and kindness has no rank. Even Mr. Sato, once proud and skeptical, admitted in an interview, "She didn't just open the vault. She opened my eyes." Aisha stood on a Tokyo balcony one evening, watching the city lights shimmer like constellations. The wind carried whispers of the night, and she thought of her father's voice again, "Your mind is your inheritance." She smiled. The world had finally understood what he meant. Her legacy grew, spreading from Japan to Africa, to every place where silence once hid brilliance. The $500 million had multiplied, not just in wealth but in hope. Generations would benefit from one woman's courage to say, "Let me try." If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that true strength often hides behind quiet eyes and hard-working hands, then show your support. Like this video and subscribe to Kindness Stories for more real-life tales of courage, humility, and transformation. Because somewhere right now, another Aisha is waiting for someone to believe she can open her own vault of destiny.